6 Billies versus 6 Minas, ladies and gentlemen. We're live with the special edition of One Drake Championship. We need to see these new heroes. They are not in the bracket. The bracket's dead, by the way. Please press F in the comments below. But yeah, we need to see these new heroes, especially due to the massive controversy. So for people who aren't aware, the very first hero, which was Mina, was released in the beginning of the patch. So there's a big patch, and every 2 days there's going to be a new hero release. Then there was a vote out of 5 heroes to pick the second hero. It seemed like the big competition was amongst Billy and Doorman. Those were like the 2 community favorites. And it seemed in most polls that were being done to the community, Doorman was far and away the favorite. But there might have been some people out there, oh, I kid you not, might have manipulated the vote. Is it the furry community? Is it a secret goat-based cabal? Nobody knows. What we do know is that Billy is the second hero, and we're about to see 6 Minas versus 6 Billys at what? Almost dead Billy already. God, do Minas do a lot of burst damage. Anyhow, we do have Chess on the observing slot. Say hello, Chess.
Hello.
And we do have Mimi co-casting with me today. Hello, Mimi.
Hello, everyone.
I presume a curse is busy being on the ladder or some shit. Anyhow, so yeah, it was actually really difficult to convince people to show up with 3 hours of notice to a 6v6. But we managed to do it, and we managed to get some good players too. Everybody knows Ifons, everybody knows Kamuri, everybody knows Naked, everybody knows Bird. Bread, of course, big helper. Mekkel, always been here. Sterak, representing the Czech community. Comrade and Chua, 2 classic GlutenSnake players. And Wraith from a couple of games ago, you might remember him going pew 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 on the ability draft game. And Cairo, a new player. Oh, and of course, Falcon, the Lightspeed Mauler guy. So basically like a very loaded cast, a lot of E6s in this chat. They're ready to roll, and I mean, like, they're both interesting characters. I think they're very burst heavy, aren't they, Mimi?
Well, certainly Mina is built that way, and Billy, I think, is definitely more geared that way. A lot of his abilities have, you know, a longer cooldown, so gonna have to manage those quite well.
Yeah. It's, yeah, the very powerful character with very long cooldowns compared to the Rake, for example, for Mina. A lot lower cooldown overall. But I do have to say, Billy is very interesting to me because he's the first full melee character that we've had in the game. There's, like, his whole kit is designed around melee. You could, in theory, play Spirit Abrams, or you could play, in theory, Spirit Calico or Gun Calico or something, but this guy seems to be like so built around melee, it's ridiculous, right?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I think, you know, his 2 main abilities, his Bash Down and Rising Ram, are clearly just straight up melee abilities, so I don't know how else you would build him.
Yeah, and I mean, we're gonna have to figure it out. Literally, this game is filled 3 hours after Billy came out, so these guys don't know how to build him. So yeah, the Mina players do have this very big advantage, which is they actually have several days at this point of build experience. They know what works, they know what's good and bad. Of course, there were early intuitions. Everybody knew Kinetic Dash would be great on a character like Mina. But yeah, on the other hand, the excitement was clearly on the Billy side. What we did essentially, because we have no clue what a Mina main or a Billy main is at this point, is basically say, hey, you can join the game and we'll figure out who's Billy and who's Mina. And everybody wanted to be Billy. We had to convince a couple of players not to be the preferred hero just so we could play this game. Anyhow, a lot of damage comes in from those Minas. But yeah, they're very fragile. 2 melee hits will certainly kill them. And yeah, that's going to be a very big problem. Anyhow, let's talk a little bit about the early game. We do see the goats have already amassed a little bit of an advantage. No tower falls yet. What do you think of the goat's gun?
I think it's very interesting. You know, I really like how it pairs. I believe when you level up his 3, it gives you some ammo back each time you melee. So you could maybe go for a more bullet focus. I see a lot of close quarters so far, and maybe trying to get a bit of gun damage in instead of this straight melee build that we're theorizing about.
Yeah, I mean, point blank is going to be really good. With what little early discussions I heard from the Eternuses, it seems that one idea that people have been exploring is going very much on the point blank melee side of things, and then getting Fury Trance. Basically, do all of your abilities, Your cooldowns are massive. You do a lot of damage very, very quickly, and then you Fury Trance and hope that you can survive what remains, essentially. But yeah, Fury Trance might be a very interesting choice. We're gonna have to watch. On the other hand, the Mina meta has very much developed. Cold Front, very, very common Mina tool. Yes. We're gonna have to talk a little bit about Billy's abilities for people who are new to the game. So Billy has 4 abilities. The first ability, can we look at a Billy just for reference? Yeah. Oh, we missed the fight. Anyhow, but yeah, Billy has 4 abilities. The first one is he can bash your brains in with his club. The second one is, yeah, look, it does a lot of knockdown damage too. The second one just closes the distance. The third one, he gets like a little bit of an aura around himself that gives him extra melee damage and gives you bonuses the more times you melee your opponent. And the fourth one is an ult, which, very good pick there from Comrade. Is an ult that basically forces you to be close by and disables all the movement abilities that you might have. So that's very, very, very valuable, especially for these hyper-mobile Minas. I mean, in theory, Mina should be fantastic against Billy just because of that. Exactly. Oh. Throw crashed. Rip. But yeah, just because of that, the ability to just quickly teleport away twice and with verticality at that, very valuable against any sort of melee character. So you want to keep them close, and you want to keep them close with your ult. Where do you see Billy being the strongest, maybe?
Well,
Like,
obviously, right. I would say he feels like a kind of mid-game character. I feel a lot of the melee characters kind of fall off towards the late game as the health pools just get so large and you have so many items that can really counter that style. So I really do see him thriving in the mid-game. I think early game, he just has too many cooldowns. They take too long. I think he's going to be particularly weak in the early game. Although the Billy team is currently doing quite well, but I think once the meta kind of settles in, I think that's probably where he'll sit.
I do have to say, I love the animations of Billy so much. So the very first animation I wanted to highlight was, of course, the ziplining animation. He just uses... He bites on his club and then uses that on the zipline. Brett is dead. But the animation I love the most is the recharge animation, which we're gonna try and catch. But basically, Billy eats his own magazine, and I think it's hilarious. You just stay and watch it because it's so much fun. Yeah, exactly. That's what he does. He eats his own magazine. That's so funny. But yeah, Billy certainly is one of the most well-designed hero. Maybe not in game design. We still don't know yet. It's only been 3 hours. But in terms of like actual design, I love it so much. He is such a goat. I think this guy's got to be a player favorite. I think Mina is, a new character. I think she's gonna have a sort of role similar to Pocket. I think Billy's gonna become a mainstay. We're gonna see him so much. But yeah, I do have to say, Mina on the other hand, so you said Billy's a very good mid-game. That's the case with most melee characters. I completely agree with you. Mina on the other hand, her big power spike is really early in the game. She can just do so much burst, and as long as she uses a Guardian or Walker maybe to defend herself, she's just able to escape so easily. But yeah, we're gonna have to see. Anyhow, the game seems pretty equal so far. I'm really glad we balanced the teams well, it seems. 39 to 37k. We do already see 2 of the Guardians have fallen. The Billy Goats are certainly ahead in terms of map presence. What do you think? What do you think is the Billy Goat or the melee solution to walkers? Do you think that some of them have to go like heavy gun just to have the damage, or just like melee the walker and double jump?
If fans have seen a lot of the channel videos and a lot of the 30v3 style events, the 30s typically have to do weird things to walkers, either jumping up and trying to melee them or different things like that. So it's not a very effective strategy. It'll get the job done eventually, but I worry about Billy's walker potential.
Yeah. On the other hand, now that spirit damage does not do double damage, half damage with walkers anymore, those Minas are gonna terrorize walkers. We were discussing a little bit earlier with some of the channel fans about how Spirit Burn is gonna be really, really, really powerful. Nice duel there. But yeah, That's a dead stack. But yeah, very, very interesting duel there. What was I saying? But yeah, Mina, especially with Spirit Bird, is going to do so much damage to those walkers. And that's going to be a really big problem because Mina can just do a lot of spirit damage, just run away using her vampire bat abilities. And yeah, Mimi, tell me, do you call her Vampire Bat or do you call her Mina?
I'm trying to get used to Mina. I'm still kind of stuck on Vampire Bat, but I'm trying to switch over.
Yeah.
If I ever will, I don't know, but we're trying.
I think we had this actually the exact same discussion last film, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We were talking about Wrecker and Sinclair and trying to switch over to those.
Yeah. But yeah, it's on the other hand, Billy was always Billy. I guess you can call him Goat. But yeah, 10 minutes of hit in. The Minas have a little bit of an early lead, and we're gonna have to see what happens now that the mid game's happening. Who do you think has a big advantage in an earned fight? Do you think it's the 6 Billies or the 6 Minas?
I would have to give an earn fight to the Billies. I think they're, you know, being able to just rush in and disrupt anybody trying to plant the urn, I think is, you know, a lot more powerful than Mina just being able to really run.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing that you want to do with Mina is a lot of hit-and-run type stuff. She doesn't have the HP to just, like, one-on-one a Billy outside of hit-and-run type stuff, right? She doesn't want a long game against him. So, an earn fight would be ideal for them. But, yeah. These Minas are suddenly starting to really pop off now with a very big earned fight, and we're going to have to see what happens here. What item do you think the Minas could get? Just items with a lot of melee resist, I guess? What are items with a lot of melee resist that the Mina
I'm honestly surprised I only see one rebuttal. I thought that would be a pretty common early buy, just to try to downplay the obvious melees that some of the Billies are going to be trying to go for, but it really hasn't happened. A lot of just vitality items so far.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it makes some sense. Vitality items are needed for a character with what, 1,000 HP?
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, look at these goats. They already have like 1,300 HP with little investment. This is like one of the lower goats, only 8.9k. Who is this? It's Icons. Interesting. But yeah, who is the highest goat? Is it Naked? Oh my God, Naked's at 14k right now.
Naked's at 14 and Comrade on Mina is on 13.
13, yeah. But yeah, Comrade is probably one of the best farmers in the game. Everybody who plays Comrade knows this about him. He'll just disappear, he'll do a couple fights, and then at 30 minutes you'll see him at 50k and you're wondering how the hell is he at 50k? But yeah, it's a Comrade special. But yeah, we're gonna have to really discuss one interesting thing. So like several characters, the one for Billy does get charges later in the game once you upgrade his third ability by 2 points. It's kind of weird like that, and being able to just do 3 of those bashes is just so valuable in a row. Rapid recharge already gained by some of the characters, and we do see Earn has been picked up by the Minas. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that earn play. I think that's going to be pretty difficult for them to plant if the Billies were in a better position, but it looks like it might be sort of free with only 1, maybe 2 defenders.
Yeah, the Billies have been outpositioned in that one. Minas are pretty fast. We'll grant them that, and the earn has been dropped though, and a lot of ults coming in, chains everywhere. Looks like a BDSM event, but it's not going to be enough. It seems like the Billy Goats are just picking up the earn. Okay, they picked up the earn. And
yeah, there we can really see the advantage of the Billies, where if you get a few of them all together, they seem to really synergize well, while Minas are very much more solo players, I feel.
Yeah, Minas are, as we said, hit and run. The Billies, on the other hand, have the ult versus ult into ult into ult into ult advantage. We've discussed this with a couple characters in this series. Paradox being perhaps the most prominent, Lash also as well. But the ability to just have one Billy ult and then have another Billy follow up ult, it's just so detrimental to these very low life Minas. But yeah, big parry there, and that's going to be the end of Mekko. But yeah, game so far very equal. 83k to 83k game, very, very balanced. And we're going to have to see how this this all pans out. You have, so I'm the unfortunate, well, I'm not the observer, but I am on the observer side, so I can't see anything. Have you seen any interesting items so far, Mimi?
Let's see, if we take a look, a lot of rapid recharges on the Billy side. That makes sense, like we were saying, getting those extra charges on the one. A lot of cultist sacrifices for the Minas. Just get that extra fire rate. Makes a lot of sense there. Then Cold Front, everywhere. Another very common buy, again, for the Minas. Just trying to slow down, and the Billies are going to be close, so you might as well take advantage of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, Cold Front is pretty good at Mina too, because it's such a bursty ability. It really works well with Mina's with the rest of Mina's toolkit. You do a lot of spirit damage. I'm curious to see what the first 6k is going to be. I think for the Minas, as I said, it's going to be Spirit Burn. But do you think we're going to see Crushing Fist first, or do you think we're going to see some sort of special tech?
I think Crushing Fist is probably likely. We have, what, 4 Billies with melee charge already? So presumably that's what they're building to. It'll be interesting to see when they actually bite the bullet and spend the 6k souls to buy it, or 4.8 after getting melee charge.
Yeah, I mean, one purchase I think all the Billy Goats should be considering soon is, of course, Spirit Resilience. The Minas are, I mean, you see a lot of gun there, but that's just fake, right? Almost all the Mina damage comes from that spirit, from that love bite. So, one Spirit Resilience might do a lot of work. A burst character that cannot burst you down is a dead character, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we do already see the punches of the walkers. We're discussing it's gonna have to be a little bit weird and wild. And there it is. The Billy Goats do have the first walker. But I
do want to make a quick note of kind of how these isolated 1v1s are been going. I've been trying to keep an eye on any of those 1v1 fights, and it seemed more even than I anticipated during the early game, but now that we're kind of entering this mid-game phase, surprisingly the Minas are doing much better in most of these 1v1s than the Billies.
Yeah, I mean, Mina is a very 1v1 heavy character, and it doesn't surprise me that a lot of their character picks are oriented towards that. We do see a lot of point blank, and I love point blank. For people who don't know, point blank gives you one of the highest melee resist stats in the game, I think. And we can check it right after this battle. Let's not interrupt this battle. Yeah, point blank gives you a lot of melee resist, which is so valuable with this team, because even if you're more gun heavy, you're still gonna have to use your one very frequently. Anyway, not gonna work at all. Actually, no, it does work. He pulls it back. He just yoinks it like a bebop. He can parry while ulting, so kind of GG. But yeah, that's a very, very big game from the Goats, and they are gonna push. We do already see a Mina though on lane number 3 by herself. Is she gonna be able to solo the walk? No Goats in position. She might be able to pull it off.
I think she will have time if she sticks with it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. But yeah, big defense happening on Walker number 1. It is, of course, the last Walker for these Minas, so you do not want to lose that. Teleport them behind, and they do get that flex slot, which is so valuable this late in the game at 18 minutes. 8 late in the game. Well, but yeah. Nox Nostra is doing a lot of work here. We do see a big fight happening under Walker, and that stun is going to be death. And yeah, the Billy Goats bench has been somewhat nullified, and the last Walker has been preserved. So far, so good. Mina's playing great. But yeah, let's look at this close. Not close quarters. What the hell is it called? Point blank stats, if we can. No, let's wait for this duel to be done first. I do have to say, apparently, much like Seven and Mo, Billy Goat does have reduced headshot damage, right? So even though he has a big head, he's not going to be able to be burst down from it. Doesn't matter too much for the Minas because they're very spirit heavy, but still. Oh, the Mina? Dead. Very well done.
So it's looking like we've got a few Billies already having Crushing Fist, so that was in fact the first 6k item. And then for the point blank stats, it's plus 50% weapon damage and a 25% movement slow.
Was that Chua crashing again? There's a little crashing, God. But anyhow, this is a good opportunity for me to look at that point blank. So point blank here does give you a 30% melee resist, which is a lot of melee resist. Is there another and also bullet resist shredder, which makes perfect sense with the kit. Also gives you melee resist. And I think not necessarily point blank, but bullet resist shredder I think should be part of every Minas kit. It's gonna be so valuable to get that extra melee resist against these Billies. But yeah, very fun stuff. Very fun stuff. But yeah, the last walker does seem to be in dire straits right now. Mina caught out of position. Big counter spell from the Minas. And the Billy Goat's just gonna back up. So yeah, with all three walkers down, with that extra flex on a 50k soul difference, the battle is certainly looking Billy Goat's favorite. Does that make Mina the troll? Have you read Billy Goat's Gruff, or whatever it's called in English, when you were a kid?
I don't think so. I'm not familiar with it.
It's a pretty simple story. There's like these. This is Goat wants to cross a bridge, and it's like the trolls. There's like a bridge troll, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna eat you. And then the Goat's like, oh, I'm so small. Why don't you eat my brother? He's coming next. And it's like, okay. And then the brother comes, and the brother is bigger. He's the older brother. And Billy goes, oh, I'm gonna have such a good meal with this one, says the troll. And the Goat's like, oh, why don't you eat my brother? He's even bigger. And then the Billy Goat comes, and the Billy Goat just knocks the troll off the bridge. I don't know if there's a moral lesson there. Eat the smaller goat. I don't know. Most tales
kind of sounds bird in hand is better than two in the bush.
Yes. Yeah, we're very chaotic camera control so far. And I mean, we do see the value of the ults here. We cannot use that Nox Nostra. I wonder if Nox Nostra is considered a mobility ult. It does move you up in the air, right? So maybe you can block. It does. Yeah, you can block the Mina's ult with your ult.
Yeah, it's very interesting, you know, kind of as anticipated. If 2 or 3 Billies are all together, it's very hard to stop them. Just the amount of stuns they have and the knockups, it's very difficult to maintain that position for the Minas.
Yeah, no, the Minas certainly struggle with it. It feels like a really bad matchup. I feel for the Minas. They had a big advantage early game, but yeah. I mean, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this 2 more times with a 3rd hero that gets released, and the 4th hero that gets released, and then the 5th hero that gets released, and the 6th hero that gets released. So you guys should stay tuned. You should like and subscribe right now. And you should watch these Billy Goats, see if they can break base. That's going to be a little bit more difficult. I mean, the Mina's having a low HP pool, but a lot of mobility means that Fountain becomes so valuable for them. It's going to be hard to catch them out of position with that much mobility, but we're going to have to see the Billy Goats push regardless. The walkers on the Billy Goat side are pretty burned, though. So one team fight is all the Minas need in order for them to like easily wipe out walkers and maybe even base guardians. That's how wounded those walkers are. Any interesting items so far, Mimi?
It's pretty much more the same. We do have one Billy with Witchmail, which is, you know, quite an interesting buy. I think that's a pretty smart buy.
Yeah.
But
Witchmail is fantastic. You like the Billy's biggest problem is, of course, the cooldowns being so long. His 3, which is his bottle breaking thing, does a lot of health. Like it heals you every time you punch, right? So if you can quickly trigger that, then you just basically have siphon bullets, but instead of it being siphon bullets, it's siphon punches. So you really want to activate this as soon as possible. I think Witchmail is brilliant against these spirit damage dealers. Do we see a lot of spirit resist on the Billy Goat side? 52% spirit resist.
52 is quite a lot. 15, 20, 22, 20. So yeah, they're definitely building for it, which again, I mean, makes sense.
Yeah. Some melee resist. I do love the sounds. That was horrible goat sound.
I did expect pretty much all of the Billies to be getting superior cooldown, but only 3 of them have it so far. I thought that would be a pretty core item.
Yeah, with how long the cooldowns are, that makes sense. I mean, maybe they're treating Billy's as a very bursty character. I don't know. Like, again, I don't think the meta has been developed for any of these characters, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to see what's going on. I mean, as I said, 3 hours after this character gets released, of course, there's not gonna be builds and wisdom. Like, there's just intuitions at this point. You know, Shrine number 1 falls, Shrine number 2 falls. It is just the patron left now. And do we think the goats are going to be able to take the patron? I do think they are. They do have a 2-player advantage right now. And yeah. Are they going to stay though? That's the question. I think they decide to stay. They're going to finish it right here, right now. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Two of the Billies are not there. One's on the way, but one is all the way back in their base. So definitely going to be outnumbered for this fight.
Yeah, with those 2 rejuves though, you might be able to pull something. Kamburi is down though. 1 go dead, gonna revive himself pretty quickly. And now the question is, do you focus on the patron or do you try to focus on those Minas? And I think the answer for the goats is on the patron. GG. What do you think the MVP of the match was? You can name the hero, you can name a player, you can name a skill, an item, whatever you want.
I think slowing hex.
His ult.
Yeah,
His
ult was really funny.
It just disables their dashes. They can't.
Yeah.
Does it disable their ult as well?
Yeah, it's a slowing hex as an ult.
Yeah.
Yeah, but does it disable the ult?
I'm not sure.
Well, we're gonna have to find that out. Hello, Minas. I am sorry for your loss. Can you tell me, what do you think went wrong in that game? Do you think it was unwinnable, or do you think it was a question of strategy?
I think it was straight up unwinnable.
It was kind of a comp like issue. Like their characters were really good against ours. It was a big issue.
Well, that was the first match from the new patch. So, what do you think? Who do you think will be the next 2 heroes? Do you think it will be Doorman? Yes, it will be Doorman. Who do you want to go against Doorman? Why don't you comment below about your ideal match against them? Okay, like and subscribe, and have a good day.